This is Race for Peace. I'm Rick Anthony with my co-host Andrew Howell, who is the founder of Race for Peace, a series of programs that are being produced by Radnor Studio 21 to promote dialogue and understanding in our communities as an antidote to the hate, the violence that is all too prevalent in our communities. The program and the people who are becoming engaged in Race for Peace cut across all differences, as you will see as we go through the discussion with your two guests today. And your two guests are, Andrew?
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. The two guests today are Pastor William Scott III, who's the pastor of Harold O. Davis Baptist Church, 10th and the Boulevard, Philadelphia, PA. Alongside of him is Alim Howell, community activist.
Who happens to be a member of your family.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, he is.
What a coincidence.
What a coincidence. He's my son.
As you know,
Yes.
we've been inviting folks onto the program who represent different constituencies. We've had some clergy people on in the past, some religious
Yes.
people. Had a lot of law enforcement people because
Yes, we
they're
have.
the ones who are really enthusiastic and have been giving you tremendous support.
Yes.
And this is the first time, however, we've had someone representing maybe not millennials because you're a little below the millennial line, but
Eucharistics.
the youth, the youth
Futurists.
constituent. But let's go with the pastor first.
Yes.
As I've said in the past, Pastor, there are a number of religious organizations that are coming on to support the Race for Peace. Yours is a fairly large congregation. You have any number of organizations, movements, groups that are all working in a common cause, and that is to create community, to somehow get through to other people and get beyond differences so we can come together. Why Race for Peace? Why did you sign on to Race for Peace?
Well, Brother Andrew came to me one Sunday after service, and he explained
member
to me,
of your
he's a member of my
congregation, right?
church. Yes,
Mhm.
he's a member of my church, and he told me about the need, what he was trying to do in terms of turning the situation around, because we have many ups and downs,
Yes.
in terms of relationship with police and in terms of relationship with the community. And he told me about the movement, the Race for Peace. And he also asked me, he said, would you be willing to host the Race for Peace, our annual summit, our second year annual summit in November? And, when I heard him, and then I said, you know what, this is a real good idea, because one of the things that I wanted to do is, when I became the pastor of the church, is I wanted to be politically involved, socially involved.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the things, I was always told, if you have a preacher always should have a newspaper in one hand and a Bible in the other, to be, really accurate with what's going on. And I saw this as a stepping stone for me to be involved politically and socially with my people, because my people, they want to do more than just, talk about the good news of Jesus, but also be active in their community. I always told people that a church should not only just be operated on Sunday mornings, but it should be a everyday resource for the community, so people will know that the church really does care about them. To get rid of the myths of people thinking that all the churches want is just your money. Even though it takes funds to run organization, but also it takes care for people to actually care about the heart of people. And so when he brought it to my attention, I said, you know what, this is something that we need to do. And I think what makes it different from any other organizations is that it started from the bottom up. Instead of going from the top to the bottom, it reached to the people where it really matters at. Because sometimes some people, when you been in other positions, you really don't know what it is to go
Yes.
through that type of environment.
I think you've hit it. That's what is, I think, distinguished Race for Peace in my experience as well. It is grassroots. It is bottom up. There's no large overhanging superstructure with a lot of people involved at the top. All the people are pretty level. It's a pretty flat organization.
Yeah.
All the police chiefs you brought in, the academics, the business people, and so on, they are all peers in this organization called Race for Peace.
Yes.
Young man, Alim,
Yes.
you represent, as I said, the first person we've had on the dais who represents younger people.
Yes.
And I guess that's why you were brought into it. You've been involved since the beginning, I think in July, was it, of last year?
2016.
What's been your involvement? What's your mission on behalf of Race for Peace?
Well, my mission for Race for Peace is to create less violence and have less violence in Philadelphia and the local tri-state areas. And my involvement with the Race for Peace since July is I created the website for the Race for Peace. Me and my father sat down in the library, Sellers Library in Upper Darby, to be more specific, and I created the website for the Race for Peace, and it's titled raceforpeaceblog.wordpress.com. And now we have another Race for Peace website, which Hameen Diggins created, and that's race-for-peace.com. And I also contacted local government officials, such as local senators, mayors, and I contacted publicity, CBS 3, NBC 10, Channel 6, ABC. And for the senators, I would like to be more specific of who I talked to. And starting off, I started with Senator Thomas Mcgarrigle, and he's for the 26th District of Delaware County. And I talked to him, and I gave him the example of the Race for Peace, showed him the website. He said, I'm very interested in this. Keep me in touch, keep me posted. And we exchanged emails. And also another senator I recently contacted, and this was in April of 2017, was Senator Anthony Hardy Williams, and that's of the 8th District in Delaware County / West Philadelphia suburbs area. And I told him about the Race for Peace, and he was all for it. And he said, let's exchange emails and keep in contact. So what the senators and the politicians usually do is they look at the website that I offer them, and I give them my father's business card, which has everything about the Race for Peace on it. And they look at the websites and they go over it, and they said, this is really interesting. Hopefully your dad keeps going and makes it annual each year and keeps being involved with the communities, because we need something like this to have less violence in Pennsylvania and in the world. And they're all for it, the politicians.
But what do you expect them to do?
What I expect them to do
It's easy for a politician to say, go forth, do good work, great.
Right.
But what do you want from them?
What I expect them to do, Mr. Anthony, is I expect them to spread the word, just like it goes from one person to another, and just tell local politicians, someone that's in relationships to them, and maybe they can come out to a summit or an event for the Race for Peace, and just basically just spread the word to make it more known and more worldwide for the communities to reach out. And who better to contact than the senators and the mayors and the politicians?
The governors, too.
And the governors, yes, and the governors also.
But what specifically are you doing to reach younger people, to bring them in, to recruit them?
To reach younger people, what I do is I use my social media, and I would talk to maybe, I would talk to my local college friends and tell them to check out the YouTube videos, such as the YouTube video we're doing now, and check out the website, because everything for my generation basically is tech savvy.
Yes.
You know, everything's on our smartphones, everything's there. So I just said, here, I'll text you and I'll send you the link to my father's website about the Race for Peace, and they'll just check it out and see, and they'll say, oh, this is really good. You know, this is really good. For young people, I would say their response is, it's good that your father's doing this because it will solve less violence. And there's a lot of violence nowadays, especially what's happening. And I don't know if I'm politically correct, in Virginia. What's happening in Virginia?
It's Virginia, yes, Charlottesville.
Yeah, in Charlottesville.
Yes.
So it's just a lot of, mayhems and negative stuff. And I'm really glad my father's doing this Race for Peace committee to solve less violence.
Speaking of getting the word out, in a prestigious magazine, at least in law enforcement, the Police Chief, which is the official magazine of the International Association of Chiefs of Police,
Yes.
in an article on page 64, written, I guess it was an interview with Frederick Herron, who is the director of the Ben Salem Township, and I guess an early supporter of Race for Peace.
Yes.
Let me read from this piece on him and about him, and this is a quote from him. Law enforcement personnel in the Philadelphia region have partnered with many community groups in order for all of us to have a better understanding of our cultures and ethics. This group, Race for Peace, has made amazing headway in the area of community police relations. This can certainly be a model for IACP, International Association of Chiefs of Police. That kind of recognition is commendable.
Thanks, Rick.
And I hope it's the beginning. I know you've made contact with local media. Now you're being invited to speak to various groups.
Yes, I'll be speaking at community college actually today at 5:30. I'll be down there with the Black Male Engagement, who's out of the Mayor Kenny's office of Philadelphia, PA. They invited me to speak on the panel and be a panelist down at the community college, what I take as an honor and a privilege. And I like to say that my son also, he was able to get in contact with the governors, representatives, the senators' representatives, the mayor representatives, and the congressman representatives. And he was able to, like I said, he did the groundwork. He did the first 20%, 30% of the Race for Peace was all Alim Howell. And I'm really proud of him for doing that. I'm proud of Pastor Scott, for coming on board and doing his expertise. And I'm just proud of these guys. We're all making a difference. Rick Anthony, I'm proud of him. We're all making a difference. And it's
Happy to
it's
be
hard
whatever
work, but
help
it's
we can.
easy. I tell everybody it's very easy.
Well,
if we all on
it's
the
a great
same track.
story. It's a great story. I mean, I was smitten the first time I heard about it. Again, because you're such a character,
Yes, I am.
a maniac. And everybody who's come on has said essentially the same thing. I'm involved because of Andrew, because of Andrew's enthusiasm, his commitment, his passion, and I'm not stroking you, and your authenticity. People believe that you really want something better to happen, and that you're not representing the black community or any other ethnic
Correct.
group, or
Yes.
it's for all of us. We're all in this together.
Exactly.
And I think that message is coming across, particularly when you have some of the chiefs of police and some of the other people who really didn't need this. They have other things to do, but they're wholeheartedly behind it. That says something about you and the movement. Pastor, the summit that's
Thanks.
coming up in November, what's that all about, and what will your congregation do to support it?
Well, it's going to be coming up in November, on a Saturday, November 11th, from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. They're going to be doing some things in terms of role play, how to interact in terms of when police, arrive, or, just a safer, just a safer in terms of, just a safer environment, which I think that all of us need to be enlightened on, because sometimes we can look at things from a negative point of view, and maybe the police officer really just trying to do their job, and then sometimes even the police job can be looking on the opposite side, looking at it from a negative view. And so
Exactly.
it's a thing where both parties need to not look at something in terms of negative, but look at it positive, but also being safe at the same time. And also there are going to be some meet and greet and some interactions with just police, and then I'm definitely going to have my church be there, because we need to be a voice in the community. If the church is not a voice in the community, then what good is the church at all? That's basically what it's that's what we're saying. We want to be a voice. We want the community to know that we're there.
And the invitation for the summit is extended to everybody in the region, right?
Yes.
Everybody in the world, Rick. Anybody could come. And I like to also say that the Harold O. Davis Baptist Church also has a school, a little daycare school, and so they have youth there also.
Yes.
They have a wonderful choir, and they have some wonderful people that attend that church and that are members of that church, and I'm very proud, and it's a privilege to be a part of that.
And you're a member of the church as well.
Yes.
And he puts up with you every Sunday.
Well, Rick, you called me the maniac, so you know how that is. But I like to say, everybody, these guys are incredible. Once again, the Race for Peace is incredible. Race for Peace.
You need more recruits.
Yes, we do. That's what we got this young man. We got two young guys right here.
That'd be great. If you can bring on more of the youth, because that's where it is. That's where you hopefully will be able to begin to change attitudes and behavior, and get them to open their minds and hearts to be more compassionate and understanding of other folks, again, regardless of differences. And we all have them. We all have our biases and so on, but somehow we got to get above all that. Any closing words, Mr. Founder?
Yes, I would just like to tell everyone, stand up. Stand up for what's right. We need you guys' help. You guys need us. We're here for you. We're a vehicle. We're a big structure right now. Come on board. Join the Race for Peace and help this world become a better place to be.
Alim, what's the website?
The website is Race for Peace, WordPress, blog.com. And then there's another website also, race-for-peace.com.
Why are there two?
One is facial media, right? One is Facebook.
Well, no, he's asking about the websites though. There's two websites, I guess. to make it more broad. Because
Okay,
one is
sure.
basically for a blog.
Oh, for
and then the other
searches
one's
and things like
for
that.
searches,
Got
and then
it.
the other one's for the
Yeah.
main stuff. And then we also have a Facebook site. That's Race for Peace social media, and that's on Facebook.
Okay.
So we have Facebook and we have 2 websites.
And you have a blog as well, did I hear that?
One blog, Race for Peace, WordPress
Who's running the blog?
My father is.
Okay.
Yes.
And you were inviting other people, obviously, to participate in that,
Exactly.
the blog.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much. It's always
Thank
a
you,
pleasure
Rick.
to see you.
God bless you.
Pastor,
Peace,
Yes.
everybody.
God bless
Bless
you.
you.
Thank you.
Young man, nice
Thanks
to
for
meet
having
you. This is Race for Peace. I hope it continues to be informational as well as inspirational with the fine work that Andrew and his many, many, many colleagues are doing now on behalf of the community. Until next time, take very good care of yourselves.